Welcome, everyone, to the June 17th, 2024 Monuments and Cemetery Commission meeting. First item of business is the approval of the minutes. Has everyone had a chance to look over that? If so, I'd entertain a motion to accept.
I make a motion, we approve the minutes from the March 18th meeting.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
I second that.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next, old business, and I think from right there, we go right into new business. Veterans Memorial Concept, German Park.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and Commissioners. I'm Joey Schugel. I'm the Park and Recreation Director for the City of New Ulm. I wanted to start out with just giving some brief history of why I'm here today. First off, this commission recommended approval of the placement of the Vietnam Memorial down at German Park near the flagpole at the June 2021 meeting. Then in December of 2021, recommended approval of a modification that moved it closer to 3rd Street North, where we see that Veterans Memorial at German Park today. Since then, Park and Rec staff has been meeting with our veterans groups and discussing potential additions to that memorial. And one of the early discussions was flagpoles and adding flagpoles there. So at a March Park and Recreation work session, we had discussion, open meeting to discuss, looking at long-term plans for that memorial. And at that meeting, had great feedback, had a lot of interest there. And from there, staff came back and worked with our veterans group, worked with our commissioners, worked with general public who had opinions on such. And after much discussion, we came up with what you see in your packet today. So there's a concept in your packet today. And some of those considerations, as you'll take a look at that concept, were protecting green space and trees within German Park. So as the location of German Park was chosen, we know that that's a multi-use park for many different things going on. So we're tied to an area that isn't a blank slate. With some of our early plans, we would have had to remove a couple healthy trees in German Park. We also have 14 ash trees in German Park that we know aren't going to survive for the long term. So we started to try to pivot around where how can we do this and make only enhance this great memorial that we have down at German Park already. And what we came up with was this concept in your packet. So I'm here today, happy to answer any questions that you may have on this concept. But if this commission ends up recommending this for approval, then it would go to City Council. At the last Park and Recreation Commission meeting last week, that recommendation was made to approve that to City Council.
Mr. Schugel, is this an all or nothing deal? Or are we going to do this in phases? I see we got benches to be added later, or?
Right, great question. So right now, as you look at that concept, so we have 6 current benches from our fallen Vietnam soldiers and 2 panels. We have 1 existing bench that you'll see on that concept. We already have an accepted donation from our Park and Rec Commission of that other existing bench. And what that would do is make that area symmetrical to kind of make it make sense. And then you can see those paver stone areas that would be for future recognition of Vietnam veterans if their families or themselves chose to be recognized down at that memorial. And paver stones were chosen because it's not a huge impact to the green space and to the trees, but also pavers have a history at German Park. As you know, we have a full walkway of it. We have some other areas with paver stones, so we thought that really fits well with the long-term enhancement with the park. And then you'll also see some lighting aspects. Right now, we have lighting throughout the park, but this plan would call for some more prominent lighting on the monument itself.
Do you think 30 foot is too tall for the flags?
You know, we want it to be distinct, you know, and we think looking down there we might have to trim a little bit of a tree slightly, but otherwise I think we're sitting pretty good there. And that's one of the things when you come into the park, so many people come in from the south side of the park where the garden is or the amphitheater. So this will really add that recognition to that memorial. And the flagpoles would be set up for, you'll see in that image in there, we set it up with the United States flag and the POW MIA flag. They will also be set up to be able to handle more flags if desired. But this was a desire of our veterans group to see it this way.
Not to get nitpicky, but it's been a while since I was in the service, but I think Uncle Sam is always right. So the American flag would be on the right side instead of the left.
You know, based on my research, actually, the United States sits on the left side facing, yes. If we would end up putting multiple flags on the flagpole, the POW flag would go under the United States flag on the left, and then whatever would be displayed on the other pole.
So thought has been given to it for future expansion, is what you're saying, right?
Correct.
Okay. Are there any other questions for Mr. Shugel?
The pavers, people are gonna buy those like up at the courthouse? Same?
Yes, so we do have a standard paver, so it's 8 by 16 by 2 for a single. That currently is $250, and that's consistent with our system. We have them at Herman Heights Park as well. And if there's a double, it's 16 by 16 by 2, and that's $400,
Okay.
which again, consistent with what we do with other places.
Any other questions? I move to accept this and put it to the city council for their, so they can go through it.
I'll second that.
There's been a motion and a second to approve. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Next item of business is to consider cemetery fee schedule for 2025, and I think Jeff is going to talk about that. Thanks for coming, gentlemen.
Yes, Counselor and Commissioners. Sat down with cemetery staff and we went over the fees, and we feel we need to increase the opening and closing on regular by $50 to bring it from $700 up to $750. And then on weekends, opening and closing on holiday and weekends, bring that up $50 also from $800 to $850. And then increase the columbarium niches $50 from $900 to $950 on that. And the rest of the fees for the cemetery we'd leave alone this year. So it'd just be those three that we'd increase by $50.
Jeff, can we go 725? I mean, I see it's been going up 25 every year.
And that's fine too, yeah, we could work with that, 725 and then 825 for the opening and closing. But I really feel strongly on niches to go up 50 because we're falling behind because they're selling really fast. We gotta start looking into building another one real soon.
And then next
'Cause-
year, maybe we can go up another 25 right away instead of holding it at 725 for another
Okay.
year. So,
So 725 and 825
Correct.
and then 950 for the.
yeah,
For the-
Kim,
for
you
the
all right with
ashes.
that?
Yep.
Kim, you all right with that? Okay. So,
Any other discussion? Anybody have any other questions? I move to accept the proposal, making those changes to 725, 825, and keeping the one at 950. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Jeff. Item 3.3, trash receptacles in city cemetery. And I gotta say, I for one didn't realize it was as big a problem as the pictures are showing. Is that
It's,
constant?
it's getting to be a pretty big problem out there.
What do we
it's-
think the reasons for that are? I mean,
I have no idea if it's, the more the fees are out at the sanitary landfill, I don't know if, because that increased, I don't know if that's it or not. But I'm just saying, it's getting to be a real problem.
I know
And
one
the-
concern, and we were doing a little bit of talking here, but if we pull them all together, are the piles gonna get bigger? Do you know what I mean?
Me and Kyle talked about that somewhat, and we feel that if they're not there at all, they're not gonna just lay it on the ground at the cemetery.
Okay,
Because, if you see that pile, that flyer that she put out today, this was this morning, those, they were inside the garbage can, and it was all from cleaning out a fire pit.
really?
It was, yeah. And the one below that, we cleaned out the garbage cans, the empty garbage cans on Friday of Memorial Weekend. That was Monday of Memorial Day when Kyle went out there. The garbage cans were full of household on Memorial Day. So it's becoming a real problem. And already this year, he's had three times where there's been syringes and needles and things like that in there. And it's just, we feel we need to get rid of them because mainly right now, it's all household stuff that's in them. We're gonna put them out a week before Mother's Day until the week after Memorial Day, then we'll pull them again. That's the main time when people are planting flowers and when they really need the garbage cans. So that's why we feel we'll put them out throughout the cemetery again, and then pull them a week after Memorial Day. It's just getting to be too much of a problem. The Lutheran and Catholic cemeteries took theirs out already because of this problem, and now we feel we're gonna get an uptick of garbage because theirs are gone.
What kind of success have they had? I mean, is it,
As of now, they have nothing on the ground or anything like that, so, probably because we have garbage cans and they're putting it in ours.
yeah,
So, we're hoping that, and we feel that way if the garbage cans are not there, people are not gonna just leave it lay on the ground. So,
well, and I guess if that does happen, that's something that we can address at that time too.
Right,
But
and
your
that's more-
recommendation right now is to pull them all together,
Pull them-
other than those dates that you had
exactly,
mentioned.
we'd pull
Okay.
them all together, except for a week before, Mother's Day, they'd get set out, and a week after Memorial Day, they'd get pulled then again.
Okay.
Because that's, like I said, the main time when people are planting flowers out there and they need garbage cans.
Are there any other questions for Jeff?
Well, and then we talked a little bit about a roll-off with a lid that they can only put so much in. Somehow limit that. I don't know if that would,
If we put a dumpster out there,
They're
that's,
gonna
I think
pile in
it's
front of
just
it,
gonna
yeah.
pile it, they're just gonna throw them,
I think
it's
that's,
gonna be,
you know.
yeah.
okay.
I'm all right with moving ahead with this, and again, if we do run into an issue, and maybe the other cemeteries will too, then we'll have to address it at that time, so. I make a motion to accept the recommendation based on the presentation by Mr. Huffman. Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Jeff. Donation of bench. To accept or deny the placement of a bench honoring Don Jorgensen in the City Cemetery Soldiers Rest, Section 6.
Yeah. I see the note, this bench is already out there, we're just moving it.
No.
No?
No, there's one out there already
Oh.
under the, in memory of John and Shirley Jorgensen. John Jorgensen Jr. came to Kyle and asked to put another one there. And if you can see the map in your packet where the proposed location would go, that is an open space where there's no graves and it could go there. And this was brought to us today, I think you have it, yeah, a copy of it, all of you. He'd like to do in memory of the VFW Commander Don Jorgensen Sr. One of those two sayings would be on the bench.
And the picking that would be made by the family?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yep. And it's no cost to us. He's gonna do everything and donate everything, so.
And in your opinion, it doesn't pose any issues for care or?
No, I talked to Kyle about it today, and he's
Okay.
fine with it, and he said it's, this proposed location that it's gonna go in, it's an open area anyway, too. We can't have any graves or anything there anyway, so.
Okay. Are there any other questions? I move to accept the placement of the bench honoring Mr. Jorgensen, and then the family will decide on one of the two wordings that will be placed on that bench. Do I have a second?
Second that.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. I believe that is it, unless there's anything else. Nope, I'd entertain a motion for, to end the meeting, adjourn the meeting. We need a motion first.
Oh, so moved.
I'll second it. All those in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen, appreciate it. Thank you for coming, appreciate your input.